Welcome back to the 2052 American League Championship Series. The Salem Phantoms have prevailed in the ALDS against their divisional foes, the Ottawa Beavers, in 5 games. And here we stand with the Houston Astronauts, a best-of-7 series. Again, I can only play 1 elimination game, so we'll go ahead and simulate the first 3 games of the series and then kind of inspect what our options are from there. Our first 2 games are on the road, and then we have 3 straight games at home, so we'll be simulating through the 16th here, and then going from there in terms of what we want to do. Hopefully we don't go down 3-0, because that would be very, almost fatal. We'd have to win our elimination game and then hope that we win 3 again with the simulation. So first I'll start with these first 2 games in Houston, and we ended up winning both of them. Okay. So it's 3-0 and 7-2. Lou Reyes with the 3-0 shutout win, followed by Gabriel Gonzalez, our 4th spot in the rotation, with a 7-2 victory on the road. All right, so we take the first 2 on the road, and from here on out, there is a possibility that we might not even be able to play the Astronauts, unless it's a series clinching game, of course. I guess I should amend that just slightly. So we want to play the elimination game if possible, but if it's a series clinching game, I also don't want to simulate through an entire playoff series. So if we end up winning 3-1 for the most part, we'll go into a game from there. Yeah, let's see how the next game goes. And we won that one as well. All right, so it looks like Houston is not putting up too much of a fight. They've only scored 3 runs across 3 games so far. What I might do is, because I didn't expect a 3-0 series, I might just go ahead and move this one to Legend difficulty as well. I mentioned if we made it to the World Series, we could play the opening game as well as an elimination game, or the clinching game, I suppose. But those would be on Legend. The rest of these have been on Hall of Fame all season, so what I might do is just go ahead and play this game on Legend, challenge myself, and then if we end up losing 3 straight on the simulation, I mean, at that point we just accept defeat. So thankfully the odds are looking really good. I'm going to go ahead and adjust the settings here. There we go. We have Legend pitching and Legend hitting difficulty. And it'll be up to Joe Johnson for the clean sweep of the Houston Astronauts and move on to the World Series. Giving a slight look at the NLCS to see how things are going over there. It looks like the Mounties have a 3-1 lead over the top seed Florida Tides, so there is a chance that we might have a America versus Canada series. I mean, that's quite the far reach from Vancouver to Boston, though, in terms of travel time. Joe Johnson is 2-0 in the playoffs so far with an ERA just below 3. We will take that every time. Lineups are all set. We have the correct playoff roster, which kind of almost plagued us against Ottawa. It was totally up to that Game 5 simulation from there. Here we go. The 93-win Salem Phantoms going for the sweep against the Houston Astronauts. Again, Houston started off this series at home because we were the wild card team. We missed out winning the division by a game, but still have a better record than Houston. And in terms of the attributes for each team, it is very even. We are the 16th best team going up against the 18th best rated team. Again, at home at Main Street Field, it's a very big wall over there in left field. Not terribly sizable, but right field you have that short porch. A lot of our hitters, though, are righties, so we are going to be attacking that left field wall over there. The wind seems to be blowing that way over to the left. And again, there is a recap. Houston only scoring 3 runs in the series to this point. Salem averaging almost 5 runs per game, which is, I would say, about Major League average. Johnson, the rookie, looking to send his team to the World Series against the Astronauts coming up next. There's a look at Joe Johnson's stats: 16 innings, averaging about 8 innings per start, a whip just below 1. Johnson again with a 4-seam and 2-seam fastball, a sweeping curve, and a changeup, but not much break on his breaking pitches. So we're going to have to use the fastball especially effective, as there's a bunt attempt to start off the game. 89 speed coming down the baseline, and Cabrera is able to throw him out for a big out number 1. Johnson should be able to work deep into this ball game. I know the few starts we've had with him, he's only been able to make it about 6 innings before getting into the yellow stamina. He's been forced to make over 100 pitches in both of those starts, but a quick 2 outs here on 5 pitches to Houston. Aitken, the 3-hitter, will look to maybe get something going here in the first. And so far, our move to Legend difficulty has been doing all right with pitching. A little bit faster of a release point for Johnson. But when you use a lot of pitches low in the zone, they kind of sink out of the zone and result in grounders like that. A big 1-2-3 inning for Joe Johnson, and now Salem will try and bat on Legend difficulty. They will go up against Fletcher Thomas, who has not made a start in the postseason to this point. 6-10 record. a respectable 3.6 ERA, but a pretty high whip, all things considered. Thomas is definitely a strikeout pitcher. I've also fixed my controller from last time. I mentioned last time I had some stick drift on the left analog stick. I have gone out and bought a completely new controller. So while the move to Legend difficulty will be a bit of a learning curve, hopefully my PCI placements are a little bit more exact. McCall will start off with a 3-1 count with William on deck. Here's the pitch by McCall. Sinker that comes back over the inside part of the plate, maybe a little bit closer down the middle. And now the 3-2 pitch to McCall. He takes it the other way. Some good PCI placement over there, but not much pop in the bat for McCall. And that one will die a few steps in front of the warning track in left field. Thomas also throws about 96, 97 on average, so very similar velocities for him and Joe Johnson on the other side. And now a full count to Patrick William with Ricky Taylor on deck. Thomas will miss there. It's a fastball outside of the zone. And we move to the 3-hole hitter, Ricky Taylor, with our first base runner of the game. Taylor, though, finds himself down in a 1-2 count. Thomas also has a 4-seam and sinker combo with a changeup and slider, so a good variety of breaking pitches. Misses that one in the dirt. It will be a third straight full count. So the Phantoms really working the count here in the first inning. It's ruled a ball. I took that one since it looked a bit low. It was on the black, but the umpire gives us the call. And Thomas, with his second walk of the inning, he'll face Randall McBride, the good power hitter from the right side of the plate, and immediately ties him up inside with a fastball. It will be an infield fly rule. Walks are good, but we do have to swing the bat at some point to cause some damage, and McBride was definitely the guy to do that, as there's Cervantes. Fastball, we dip the PCI in a little bit again, and it's a lazy fly ball out to left field. A good fastball to hit. We couldn't capitalize on it, and it remains a scoreless ball game. John Lowe, their 4-hitter, is batting 130 so far in the postseason, so one of their normal cleanup hitters with some big extra base power has not really been doing the job for Houston, but he does rip one into right field for a base hit, and there is the first hit of the ball game for Houston. Johnson will work on keeping that runner at first. Another one to the right side. Diving William does not make the play. And 2 base runners on for the Astronauts. The one thing Johnson has going for him, like I said, is a lot of his pitches kind of break downward. So he is a ground ball pitcher for the most part. And we don't have too much speed on the base path. 19 speed over there at second base currently. I'd be surprised if he advanced here. Salgado makes the play. And indeed, he's thrown out at third. A great play from right field. And kind of a risky maneuver there by Houston. I mean, they're trying to get anything going in this series here. But being thrown out with 2 runners on and, you know, just that first out of the inning into right field. Good relay there. Especially by William, I think, who made the cutoff throw. He has common fielding. Morales batting 100 with a 3-1 count. But again, they did get a hitter with a 130 batting average to rip a single earlier in the inning. I have not thrown the sweeping curve at all so far in these first 2 innings. Full count runners will be going. Here's another fastball that ties up the batter inside. William will rove back behind second base and make the catch in front of Taylor to get it out of the second inning jam. The Astronauts get a few hits, but no damage. Phantoms had a few walks last inning, but no hits. They're looking for their first one coming up here in the bottom of the second. Campillo is down to a 273 average in the playoffs, which is still not bad, but for a 300 hitter, he will get that average up as he lines a slider into left field for a leadoff single. We did aim our PCI a little bit to the left with that slider, the late break, but comes right back down the middle. Campillo stays with it for the clean base hit into the outfield. This is the part of the lineup, though, that needs to do damage and be better. Cabrera batting 303 so far in the postseason, but our best hitters are 1 through 6. It dramatically drops off after that 7-hitter. 3-1 count to Cabrera, though, and he'll take a fastball high. So Thomas already 3 walks to this point in the ballgame, plus that hit to Campillo. Salgado will have a 3-1 count as well. So do we dare take another pitch, or do we turn on a fastball here? He's late on the fastball. Had the right idea. Was looking more for that low and in, so where his hot zone is right here. Now a full count to Salgado. Another fastball. Swung on and missed by Salgado. Has a little bit extra pop on the Legend difficulty. And now we'll be up to Cordova, the 9-hole hitter. Slider gets him going, and back-to-back strikeouts for Thomas, who is a strikeout pitcher. We're back to the top of the lineup with McCall. And another slider swung on and missed by the Phantoms. So we are doing a little bit of adjusting here on Legend difficulty with some of the snap and velocity on some of the pitches. I kind of pray for when we face the closers and the fireballers later in the game if we can't hit right away. In a way though, if we do lose this ball game and end up winning the series in the simulated play, I kind of have trained myself to look for Legend pitching as we go into the World Series. So this is kind of like an unintended bonus for me to have that one game adjustment before we actually go into the World Series, which was unintended, but you know, didn't want to simulate a whole series without having played a game. Here is Johnson's first sweeping curve of the game on a 2-1 count. Just breaks out of the zone to the 9-hitter. We should go after him, being the 9-hitter and all. Now a fastball coming on 3-1. Adams turns on it, but well foul on the fastball. It stays down the middle. Cervantes could have dove for it. I think he dove a little bit further towards home plate as opposed to out to the side where he would have been able to make the play. Now Houston with their third hit of the game will have the top of the lineup upcoming. 2-1 count to Ruiz. Swings and misses on the fastball. Fastball Johnson's been doing very successfully with so far this game, and he might have to lean on it going forward. That one is crushed out to right field. Fastball did not stay inside, came back over the middle just a bit, and the Astronauts take a 2-0 lead. As you get a look there, I was trying to tie him up high and in with the fastball. That one caught way too much of the middle of the plate, and now Johnson's most effective pitch has led to a 2-run deficit on the board. Now we'll go to the off-speed stuff again, 1-2 count. Johnson looking for that strikeout. He'll get a weak tapper out to the mound instead for out number 2. Still sticking with Johnson though, his confidence is a bit rattled, but he's been efficient with pitches so far this game, although he has given up some solid contact. I think that's hit number 5 for the Astronauts now, after a clean 1-2-3 inning in the first. Another fastball left down the middle by Johnson. And he has a 3-1 count here to the 4-hole hitter, John Lowe, who singled last time out. This is going to be a pop out to the pitcher's mound. Cervantes with his diamond fielding should be able to wrangle this one in. And we move to the bottom of the third inning. Kurt Ruiz with a home run to get things going on offense for either side. It's 2-0. Astronauts starting to hit a bit better after that weak first inning. William will lead things off in the 2-hole for the Phantoms, looking to make some contact here after Thomas got some strikeouts to end the second. 3 straight strikeouts, I might add, so his confidence is getting a lot higher after a few walks to begin his day. And William looking to do his job for the middle of the order coming up here. That one's ripped into center field for a base hit. Stayed with that fastball on the low outside corner. And even though he pulled it a bit, works out with the end result. Taylor walked his first time out, batting .343 so far in the playoffs. And a good slider by Thomas. He's been really featuring that slider in the second and third innings. 1-2 count to McBride. I think he'll go back to the slider outside here. We'll see what happens. He did. McBride went with it, and our guess turns out to be right. It's a base hit for McBride, and now 2 hits so far in the inning for the Phantoms. Cervantes, the 5-hole hitter, looking for a clutch hit to answer right back for those runs. Fastball misses high by Thomas. That's been kind of the hallmark recently. We've hit a lot in the first portion of this season, and then as the season's gone on, we've just really missed that clutch element. We've gotten a few runners on base like we have now on first and second, and just can't drive in those runs when we need to. So 3-1 count to Cervantes. Slider, good take. It came back over the inside part of the plate. We were looking for a fastball there on 3-1, and now we'll have to protect on 3-2. Fouls off the fastball. We were late on it after looking for it on 3-1, late on 3-2. I guess I instinctively pushed it right for the slider. And now a changeup. Should be into the gap and score a run. The runner hesitated from third, but we should be able to score both runs, as here's the relay home. No, he holds on to his throw, and Cervantes ties it right back up at 2 apiece. PCI wasn't pretty, but a hanging changeup there led to a base hit. Their third hit of the inning, and now Campillo with a important run over there at second, with still only 1 away. Campillo singled his last time out to left field. Cervantes not much speed over there, but should score with a gapper. Goes with the fastball a bit but it was low enough in the zone where he popped it up for out number 2. I normally love those low fastballs, and I went even further down with the PCI than normal. Cabrera takes a fastball on the outside part of the plate, frozen on strike 3. So Cervantes with a double to get those 2 runs right back. We move to the 4th inning. Pretty even ball game all considered. Astronauts with 1 extra hit, but the Phantoms have worked out a few more walks and base runners. Kind of a back and forth affair for the Houston pitcher. Gave up a lot of base runners in the first, and then again to begin the second, got 3 straight strikeouts, and then struggled again last inning. Meanwhile, Johnson started off strong in the first and has kind of gone a bit less accurate since then, as there's a sweeping curve in the dirt. I still think his fastball is his most effective pitch, but we need to get some of that off-speed stuff going here as he's missing with 2 straight. It's another full count to the batter, and we'll have to attack with the fastball. Good placement there on the high outside corner. Batter is late. See if we can tie him up with a 2-seamer inside. Good placement. Batter stays with it, but it's going to be right out to center field. Taylor makes the grab for out number 1. Johnson again is starting to spike in pitches. He has plenty of energy, but I think his inability to kind of spot his off-speed pitches in clutch situations kind of leads to inflated counts. So right here, he got the 2 strikes, and now we'll try with the sweeping curve and the changeup. That one's a good sweeping curve. Perfect release there by Johnson, and that's his first strikeout of the game. That's the other thing. Johnson, not really a strikeout pitcher, so you won't see a lot of those batters kind of chase things out of the zone, even when he makes a good pitch. That was the first time today where he was able to get the batter as such. Now another full count to Morales as he fouls that one off. Was early on the fastball, and we'll see if he pulls this one on the outside part of the plate again. He is late on this one, or tried to go the other way, but it will squirt foul into the stands. See if we can get that sweeping curve one more time here to end the inning. And he got him fishing again. McBride will make the throw to first. And now Johnson has things working with a couple of strikeouts in his 4th inning of work. Salem will have the bottom of the lineup, 8-9-1 to try and answer again to their 3rd inning where they scored a couple of runs. Thomas has already thrown 72 pitches through 3 innings plus of work. His energy is almost shot. And there we go. That might be the swing that we need. Center fielder knocks it down with his chest, I think, as opposed to making the play. And I know Thomas is losing some velocity, so that might be why we're early on some of those pitches, but we're starting, like I said, to adjust to that increase in velocity to some extent. Cordova takes that fastball out to the right center field gap, but this one is going to be caught. Stayed up long enough in the air. And now McCall with a full count. Thomas is almost completely out of energy now to this point. Slider tails back over the middle of the plate, and again, a lazy fly out towards right. So not the end result we were looking for in the last 2 batters. I mean, I guess we were kind of lucky to get that first one to fall, all things considered. But William with the runner on first now and 2 away. Thomas completely out of energy now. That exclamation point has come up. Thomas wants to get out of this inning right now and then have the 3, 4, 5 hitters come up next inning. And another lazy fly out to right field. That was the one that we caught least flush in the inning. And we are tied at 2 going into the 5th. Houston will also have 8-9-1 to start this inning. Changeup out to William at second, knocks it down, keeps it in front of him, and makes a high throw over to Cervantes at first. Adams, the 9-hitter, singled his last time up and just fouled down the 3rd base line. Johnson will go back to his sweeping curve, worked last inning. Finds that low outside corner. It's a lazy bouncer to Cervantes for out number 2. Johnson really settling here over this last couple innings. That sweeping curve, I guess, wasn't entirely on the corner, but was close. Thankfully against the 9-hitter, like I said. That one was a bit lower of a pitch, but the batter is able to line it up the middle for a base hit. And now there's some speed on the bases with 2 away. We'll keep that runner at first, maybe do a quick pitch here on 1-1. Fastball right down the middle. Benedict takes for strike 2, and now we'll go back to that sweeping curve. Bad swing by Benedict. Did not swing at the fastball down the middle and then swung at that one. New pitcher for the Astronauts, it's Stephen Cox, who has fastball, sinker, changeup, and slider. A bit slower velocity. He'll go full to Ricky Taylor to lead things off in the 5th. Leadoff walk will be great with Taylor's speed. And indeed, the sinker, I thought about it, and at the very last second held off. It broke down outside of the plate, and now McBride with some speed at first and some good pop in the bat. Extra base hit here should give us the lead. Slider just misses. That was a sweeping slider across the zone that I looked at all the way. It nearly caught that outside part of the plate. Misses again, so full count to back-to-back hitters. Taylor will stay at first, no running count on 3 and 2. McBride goes with it out to right field, and he'll make the catch. Again, a step in front of the track. McBride has some power, but not enough to go the other way necessarily, especially on a pitch that looked to be maybe just out of the zone. It was. Cervantes with a double last time to the opposite field gap. I'll take another one of those again. And a perfect that goes right to the second baseman on the circle change. Well, that was probably one of our best squared up at-bats of the day, but as so many times happens, perfects just ends up lining right to the person you least want it to go to. Delayed jump, but Campillo will ground this one on 2 and 2. Had to protect on the circle change low in the zone. We move on to the 6th inning, still tied at 2 apiece. Johnson, as I mentioned, has plenty of energy even with 78 pitches, but he will face 3, 4, and 5. If he gets himself into trouble, we will have to entertain the bullpen. It is one of our strengths on our team. And we'll get a fly out to Taylor. Just realized Aitken, their 3-hitter, has 99 contact versus right-handed pitchers. So the fact that we've kept him off the base consistently so far today really bodes well. There's a chopper out to McCall at shortstop. He gathers, throws for out number 2, and Johnson is 1 out away from a quality start. Not bad for the rookie on legend difficulty. But Mosquera will be up next. I feel like there's a lot of players in this franchise with the name Mosquera. I think this is the 3rd one I've come across. So we'll have to challenge with the fastball on 3 and 2. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Got him high and in. And Johnson, 6 innings of quality work. We'll have the bottom of the lineup for us in the bottom of the 6th. Bullpen is rested. We are going to get somebody just stretching and tossing just in case. Maybe Bauer or Estrada. We tend to go to Bauer a lot during this franchise play, but we haven't given too much of a look to Estrada, who is one of our best rated pitchers as well. Maybe I should do some more contact swings with the bottom of the order. Cabrera down the line. He loves pulling the baseball over there towards third base. And as always, just really seems to have those lazy choppers out to third base for the out. Salgado had a great pitch to hit. He's early on the 80-mile-an-hour slider, and now is behind 1 and 2. He goes right back to it. This one he was a little bit better on, but stays out there to right field for the out. Cordova will try and keep things alive with 2 away in the 6th, but I think we'll end up just kind of going to the top of the lineup next inning as there's a broken bat on the fastball inside. And indeed, we will make our way to the 7th inning. 6, 7, 8 for the Astronauts. And I wanted to get your guys' opinions on the uniforms for Houston. Kind of went for the actual, like, astronaut uniform type of look. Not the orange one, of course, just like the white kind of moonwalk ones. Gave them some black and red stripes to get a look there at the uniform. I kind of liked having that astronaut patch as opposed to the one that just says Astronauts on the front. This is one of the teams I really wanted to play earlier in the season too, and we just happened to kind of skip by them, and we ended up meeting in the playoffs anyway. McCall dove a bit early for that one, and it'll be a 1-out base runner for the Astronauts. Johnson getting close to 100 pitches, not quite there yet. It'll be the 8-hole hitter Calvin Haynes as you get a look there at the batter result. Changeup that was just below the zone, stuck with it. Credit there to the hitter. I want to stay away from that outside corner though, because even though this is probably your best chance at a weak grounder for a double play, that is his hot zone. So I'll go inside again on 2 and 2. Got a chopper, got a piece. Maybe we'll go with a high fastball here to try and get the batter. That's a fastball that stayed a bit chest high, but Johnson will live to tell about it. McCall with the pop out to shortstop. Now we're into the yellow for energy. This will be pitch number 100 for Johnson. I think this will be the end of his day if he can get this last inning or last out of the 7th. Another fastball down the middle. So again, he's just starting to lose his control a little bit with some pitches down the middle of the plate. Sweeping curve. Adams with a good take there. See if we can time inside with that fastball. It's going to be out to right field. Salgado charging in. Makes the play to go to the bottom of the 7th. And that will end the day for Joe Johnson. 7 innings of work, 100 and some change pitches. Great showing here by the rookie. Chuck Bauer has the slight edge in pitch and clutch as opposed to Oscar Estrada, so I will give him the 8th inning. And we have the top of the lineup here to make some noise in the bottom of the 7th. Try and get us the lead here late. Fastball inside. Cox still out there for the Astronauts. I believe he's one of their long relievers or maybe even a starting pitcher since he's thrown 31 pitches and has barely broken a sweat out there. McCall could have gone the other way with it. It's on the outside part of the plate and pulled it right to second base for the out. William, the 2-hitter, looking to get on base here with 1 away. There's a circle change that stayed middle cut. William out to right field for the base hit. And there you go. Go-ahead run is on first for the 3-hole hitter, Ricky Taylor. All things considered, the Houston bullpen is very well rested. They do have a few setup guys and closers in that 80 overall range. So Cox probably hasn't pitched all postseason, and they're giving him a pretty good leash here. Been fairly effective. Obviously hasn't given up a run. Taylor fouls off a fastball at 89 miles an hour. And I did feel that PCI jam down with my thumb to the bottom left there. Taylor the other way, and now we have a runner in scoring position for Randall McBride. Good push hit there by Taylor, and obviously we want to score that runner from second and cash him in, but Taylor with some speed over there at first. An extra base hit could get us 2 runs fairly easily. It's been interesting to see how pitchers attack Randall McBride all season. They either tie him up way inside or go way outside. There's like no in between. Rip to third. Third baseman can't make the play, but the runners had to hold to see what happens, so they will advance only 1 base. We have the bases loaded and 1 away for Ramon Cervantes. Circle change, we were early on it, and that was right at the bottom of the zone, right where the pitcher wanted it. I'm glad I was way early on the changeup. It was so slow that I had to pull it foul, but otherwise that was a good double play ball. Attacks with the circle change again. This one misses outside of the zone. Cervantes already with 2 RBI for the Phantoms. Can he give him the lead here in the 7th? That's going to be ripped down the left field line. A fastball that he's early on, but keeps fair this time around. And 2 runs will score on the double. Cervantes does it again, his 4th RBI of the game. And now still only 1 away with runners on second and third. New pitcher coming in for the Astronauts. Just looking to do some damage control here as you see the infield pulled in. They do not want a 3rd run to score this inning. Campillo, one of our best hitters, average-wise. So they may give him the free pass with the open base. I will take this 3-1 pitch, and pitch that I didn't really want to swing at anyway. Slider that catches the outside corner. That's going to be a chopper up the first base line. The only play is to first, so the run will score on the weak contact by Campillo. And sometimes that's all you need, just to put the bat on the ball. Put it in play. Strikeout to strand that last runner at third, but the Phantoms have done their job. They have scored 3 runs with the best part of their lineup, and now only 6 outs to go before they have a date in the World Series. Chuck Bauer will come in, 2 2/3 innings of scoreless ball to this point, has not given up a hit to a left-handed hitter. And he will face the top of the lineup, Kurt Ruiz, for the Astronauts. 2 hits at the top of the lineup so far today. Some great speed on the base paths. This is definitely a guy you don't want scoring a run for Houston. He has the ability to turn the extra base, and Bauer gets him on a strikeout with the fastball inside. Big out number 1 and a huge guy to keep off the base paths. Benedict 0 for 3 in the 2-hole. Haven't really seen how much speed he has. A decent amount, 73, as we get a look there on the foul ball. Bauer's bread and butter has been his fastball and slider. So here comes the slider on 2-2, and he does it again. Bauer's slider has been straight cheese so far this season. And now 1-2 to Mark Aitken, who has 99 contact versus righties. Looking for that 1-2-3 inning in the 8th. Gets him swinging on a fastball. Bauer mows down the Astronauts, and we are 3 outs away from the World Series. I might just let Bauer have the 9th inning until he proves otherwise, that he can't get that swing and miss stuff. I mean, it is a closer situation. Bauer hasn't been in the closing position on most of the season, even though he is our best rated pitcher. I don't know why they don't keep giving him the closing role. He did struggle a little bit with his ERA in some of those simulated games, but we've been doing absolute work with him on the mound with the user-controlled games. Salgado with a full count here. Tried to work the walk on 3-1, but McDermott will attack him here on 3-2. That's going to be up the middle. Not enough steam on it, though, to make it past the shortstop for out number 1. Cordova is 0 for 3, and like I said, he just rolls over the ball consistently to third base. So 3-1 count, I'm just going to put the bat on his shoulder, even though it's a fastball right down the middle. And now he'll swing on 3-2. Base runners are great at this point in the game, though. We don't have to attack too much or be too aggressive. We can just let them come to us. And Cordova finally gets a base hit. He's 1 for 4 on the day now. Houston definitely can't afford to give up another run here. And now they have the top of the lineup to work with. McCall is attacked with the fastball inside. That's popped behind the mound. Shortstop again makes the play for out number 2 in the 8th. William has 2 singles so far, but again, not as good against left-handed pitchers. Taylor would have a grand time against him, though, if he can make it up. Way late on the fastball. William has some great contact for the hit-and-run stuff, but got a little bit off of that fastball for out number 3. So here goes Salem with a 5-2 lead. Bauer will get the last 3 outs and hopefully send Salem to the World Series. Just in case, though, I will get Lawson stretching and tossing. He's been our closer for most of the season. They kind of relegated him back to the middle relief role after the playoffs started. They just kind of redid all of the overalls and everything. 3-1 count from Bauer. Low smartly takes that one for strike number 2. 4, 5, and 6, though, for the Astronauts. This is their last chance to avoid being swept. They started the series at home, dropped 2 straight, and then came on the road. McBride with a opportunity for the pop-out by home plate. Puts it away for out number 1. 2 outs remain. But as I was saying, Houston dropped the first 2 at home, dropped the next one on the road, and is up against the wall here with 1 out in the 9th. Bauer will try and go again with his slider. Chased and missed by Mosquera. The Phantoms are 1 out away from reaching the 2052 World Series. And now Pete Ruiz, 2-2 count. Bauer might drop the hammer on him with the curveball here instead. See if he chases. It's a swing and the miss. McBride will have the play at first. And the Salem Phantoms are going to the World Series. They have swept the Houston Astronauts in the American League Championship Series. And they will have a date with destiny against either the Vancouver Mounties or Florida Tides, depending on how that one finishes out. You see it there, 2052 American League champs. They will have some time to rest up too before the World Series. Throughout the season, we've had players like Ramon Cervantes go hot and cold all season long. And thankfully, he's had some hot streaks here going into the World Series when we need him the most. We also won the game 5-2 on Legend. Pitching was a little bit hairy at times, but our bats have been maybe a bit better than what they have been the last few weeks. Doesn't seem like we score 5 runs very much anymore, but 10 hits for Salem, countless more walks. I think we walked at least 4 or 5 times that game. A great performance by Joe Johnson, 7 innings strong with 7 hits. Didn't really have the strikeout pitches working for the first 3 innings of the game, but did end the game with 4. And Chuck Bauer, 2 innings to close it down with 5 strikeouts to send us into the next round. So I'll go ahead and advance the calendar here. It looks like Florida actually won their matchup to force it to game 6, but we'll see what happens from there. Florida won again, so it's tied at 3. The Mounties had a 3-1 lead at least, and it's going to a game 7. Florida has completed the reverse sweep, and we will be playing the Tides in the World Series, which I don't really think bodes very well because they were rated better than the Mounties last time we looked at them. We'll get a look at the box score. So Florida won that one fairly decisively with a couple late runs in the 7th. They won 9-5. And we will open up on the road against Florida. Let's get a look at their roster one more time. So, sorry, let's get a look at the standings here and look at the Tides again, who went 94-68 this season. Pretty much the same record as the Phantoms, 1 more win on the season, so they will have the home series advantage for the World Series, being the better team and being a division winner. Again, we were a wild card team. But get a look there at their rankings. 6th in the league, 2nd in contact, 7th in pitching, 3rd in speed. The one thing that's kind of lacking for them is power. So if we leave any pitches over the plate, not going to be very likely to take us deep. which is some solace, especially if we kind of lose our controller on Legend. They do have one of the best players in the league, though, I think, if not the best, in Ramon Gonzalez, their center fielder. I mean, good God, look at this guy, fielding all the way up, speed almost all the way up, contact good, power, not quite a fifth tool, but pretty close. Durability is also all the way up. So this is one of your best players in the league, and he has barely reached his prime. He is 26 years old. Follow that up with Sylvester Branch, one of the best closers in the league. Some great hit per nine stuff. Slider and 2 fastball combination. Some severe break on his breaking pitches. Doesn't give up very many home runs. Velocity not great. I mean, mid-90s, but not like your 100-mile-an-hour fireballer. They do have a good 1-2 punch in starting pitchers, and then it kind of trails off from there. So game 1, I would expect to see Ryan Silva. We will be playing game 1 against the Tides here coming up. Again, we play the introductory game of the World Series, and then from there, either the clinching or elimination game, the first opportunity that we have. A couple low 80s relief pitchers. That's pretty commonplace across the league. We saw Sylvester Branch already. Catchers very lacking. Cannon, accurate name for a catcher. First base, a couple guys, Jimenez and Dell. That will be a good platoon or DH opportunity once we host some games. Schaefer, the second baseman, we didn't really see him earlier, but he is a great fielder, good durability, decent contact and power for a second baseman. Leo Moreno over there at third base with Parker as the backup. They are serviceable players. Moreno with some great contact and vision as well. They have a Cervantes, Ivan Cervantes over at shortstop. Again, great contact, fielding, speed. A lot of good fielders in this franchise. Left fielder, not so good. Jeff Blanco, some good vision and speed, but lower contact than most everybody else on the roster. They might even put Castilla over there at left field. He's their one power bat that we might have to look out for. And Peralta at right field. So I think they're lacking mostly in the corner outfielders, which is very similar to us on Salem. Those would probably be our weakest 2 positions as well. But there's your look at the World Series. But we will start on October 24th. Salem is the place to be in October, so I'm looking forward to these first 3 games. But first we will start off on the road in Florida, and then we will see where the simulation takes us from there. Potentially, our last matchup would be on November 1st in Florida. I'm hoping for the best of luck in Game 1. It will be another game on Legend, and then from there, we will see where the simulation leads. Thank you so much for watching this edition of the Salem Phantoms franchise. We have at least 2 more games to go here in the playoffs. The first game and the elimination or clinching game potentially. And then we will make our way into the off-season. I will probably end Season 1 after that point. Take a quick break before maybe starting Season 2. So 2 or 3 more episodes here as we progress through the end of Season 1. It's getting exciting. We have a chance at a championship, and then from there we will have 1 more episode in Season 1, which will be the off-season. I will just kind of let you guys know all the transactions that took place. Again, I will have absolutely no hold in what happens, what players are signed or traded away or go to different teams. So even though I might like people like Randall McBride or Ricky Taylor, for example, if the team gets rid of them, they get rid of them. We get dealt the cards that we dealt. But that'll do it for today. We have a date with the Florida Tides coming up here next episode, and we will see you then. Signing off for now, this is Kasabe.